let's be real, most sportswear brands don't necessarily just die from bad marketing, bad products, or just because people keep returning your leggings that they didn't like. Most sportswear brands die from poor cash flow management. This is effectively not having enough cash to continue operations. They end up with too little cash to continue their operations, but wait, sales are still coming in, but they cannot afford to keep the money because they can't afford to keep the operation going. So why is this? And how can you, as either an established $150 million brand or whether you're starting up today, use this to your advantage so that you can avoid the same mistakes that some of the most established players that you've actually heard of have made in the past? Well, that's exactly what we're going to be discussing in today's episode. And before we get into it, my name is Shadi. I'm the co-founder and creative director of FittDesign. I've worked with literally thousands of sportswear brands over the last 10 years to help them go from an idea to a physical product in under 30 days. Trap number one that crushes your cash flow is what we call as the collection cycle. When you start off your brand, the first thing that you think is, I have a collection, I invest in the production of the collection, I receive my product and then I sell, I make the money, and then I reinvest in collection 2. The challenge here is that the time frame for this is around 6 months. And if you're waiting between 6 months and 6 months for being able to collect money, number one, you're not going to scale. 2, when you do start to scale, you actually find yourself in a position where now you have a scenario where you have collection 1 going, you've already paid for the production of collection 2, and then you have collection 3, factories demanding deposits so that you can get this going on. The larger you get, you may find yourself with multiple collections, with multiple factories that are needing deposits at the same time. You never want to be caught in a position where you don't have enough product to sell simply because you can't finance the production of your next collection. A well-known brand, you might have heard of it, called Nike, actually went through this for the first 20 years of their existence before they went public. And they found themselves outgrowing themselves way too fast. They had to buy more and more product from their suppliers in order to continue the exponential growth they were facing. And the more exponential their growth, they found themselves not being able to leverage their credit suppliers and their credit financiers because they just needed too much cash. So they had to get super creative. That's how large Nike had gone. Trap number 2 is supplier deposits. When you're first starting off, it's going to be common for a supplier to ask you for at least a 50% deposit to start the order because you haven't built a proper relationship with them. And this can be manageable at first, but based on trap number 1 that I mentioned, the larger you get, you could easily find yourself at $5 million, $10 million, $20 million a year in revenue, and then all of a sudden you have a month where you need to send out $500,000 in deposits. And this is a true story. This has happened multiple times with some of the brands that we work with. And if you don't have good credit facilities with your suppliers and you haven't negotiated good payment terms, such as maybe you're taking a credit from the bank, or maybe you're negotiating net payment terms where you only pay them once you received your goods and 30 days has elapsed. Now the challenge here is that you need to have built up a really good reputation of on-time payments with your factories. You're not going to have the leverage to do this if you're doing anything less than around $2 to $3 million of sales volumes with the factory every year. So getting to that point is going to be key, but knowing when and how to negotiate those credit terms and those payment terms is going to be even more key for the long-term survival of your brand. Trap number 3 is that your reorders eat your cash alive. And this is a challenge that a lot of brands face when they start selling through of a specific SKU. They notice that their leggings or their sports bras or their t-shirts are doing really, really well. And they're tracking these sales. And now they know that they don't want to be caught in a position where they don't have more product to sell because that product is generating cash flow. And any smart and shrewd business person is going to know, I need to reorder this product so I can continue that cash flow because there is a demand for it. But the challenge there is when you don't have the proper data to know exactly when to reorder, and you end up reordering way too early in the process before your product has sold through, and you end up investing cash upfront and being left with nothing. So what is the challenge there? It's to leverage data. It's to know what your typical sell-through rate in a given time of year is for a specific SKU, and ordering only when you need to reorder, not earlier and not later. Because if you order later, you're going to be left without product. And in a fashion business, if you're left without product, you have no cash flow, you have no income. And then if you order too early, you have outflow way too early with regards to how your product is selling through and how you're recuperating that cash. Trap number 4 is the marketing and inventory spend balance, which means how much you're spending on getting new inventory in stock and how much you're spending on marketing so that you can sell through of that inventory. A lot of brands don't know how to balance this. They have 100K or 200K in stock, product that they've ordered, but they're spending around 10 to 15K in ad spend. So they end up with too much inventory and they haven't drawn enough attention to that inventory to sell through. Or vice versa, they have too much inventory or too little inventory and they overspent on ads, and they actually have put a lot of in ads that are sunk costs, and now they don't have anything to sell through. So customers are landing on their website without any product to sell, and they're getting angry, and they've already paid for that traffic, so that's a sunk cost. They're not getting it back. So the biggest thing you can do is to use proper data to know how much I need to invest in my ads and how much that's going to convert in terms of actual inventory sales. Trap number 5 is that you have no access or no leverage with credit loans and credit facilities. And this is something that kills even the biggest brands. You might see a brand start off with very healthy cash flow. In the beginning, they're doing extremely well and they don't leverage debt with the bank, whether it's through credit cards, whether it's through small business loans or even larger loans. And they end up thinking to themselves, I don't need to be in debt, and I've heard that debt is bad and that I'm going to completely avoid this. This showcases a little bit of a financial illiteracy, because at some point, the larger you get, the more cash you need upfront, and the more of your current cash is being tied up in your operations. And as they say, more money, more problems. So this is what happens when you scale your business. If you look at brands like Alo, Lulu, Young LA, a lot of these brands leverage actual credit facilities based on POs or based on actual business strategies and business plans that they present to the bank to be able to get cash upfront to invest, so that they're not putting any of their own cash into the business. If you're scaling, if you're building to grow, start to leverage relationships with your bankers today, even before you have the need for all of these credit facilities. Trap number 6 is that most businesses do not have proper cash flow forecasting. They don't know what their current cash needs are, and they don't know what their current cash needs in the next couple months are going to be. They cannot properly track their budget. So what ends up happening is they don't have an idea of what happens when they have a slow month. Maybe your sales are down 30%. Maybe you have shipments that are delayed. What are you going to do then? If you find yourself literally with your back against the wall month to month to month to month, that's predominantly going to be because of bad and poor forecasting. You should know how much runway you have in actual time frame amounts, because when push comes to shove, it's the cash that's going to take you through the bad times without having you to overly downsize, lay off staff, cancel purchase orders, and potentially burn bridges with suppliers, which is the last thing that you want to do as a growing brand. So here's the truth, guys. Proper cash flow management is the real final boss of building a successful and long-term brand. Even if you have the best products, if you don't manage your cash flow, you're going to find yourself under. But if you master this, you don't just survive. You will thrive as a business that scales. Few people even get to the point where cash flow can even be an issue because they're not generating enough sales to actually justify ordering more and more product. But when you get to that echelon of that 0.0001% of brands, knowing this information and proper cash flow management is going to put you even ahead of the juggernauts of the industry that won't survive the next 10 years. If you want to learn how you can properly manage your cash flow, you can check the link in the description. I have one-on-one consultation calls, and there is a link to apply to work with me. So if you guys want to do that, check the link, and I'll be more than happy to take a look at your application and see how we can help you to scale to the next level. Guys, I say this from the very bottom of my heart. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of FittDesign TV. Until next week's episode, stay awesome.